Now, for a start, are you going to be honest?
Oh, yeah.
How do you feel Australian television is sitting at the moment?
Well, it's sort of sitting in the middle, isn't it? I mean, you get rid of some, don't you? I mean, there are Don lanes that have no turning, and then we have a sort of replacements like you. And it's rather difficult to tell just how it's going at the moment.
What do you mean by that, Frank?
I mean that in many ways, obviously, we have improved. Not all of us. But on the other hand, we've also got rid of some of the dross, haven't we?
Yes, with a limited education, I'm not too sure what dross means.
It means what you scoop off gold and throw away because it's no use.
Bit too deep for me.
Yes, I thought
it
might be.
Frank, in your weekly column in TV Week, which once again you've given away, you keep coming back to that like an old song, don't you?
Well,
obviously when finances are required, or you just want to do it.
Exactly.
You've talked about quite a few of the well-known people in television. It just happens I've got a couple of copies here.
Oh,
do you remember very much about what you've written on various people?
No, not a thing.
Well, on not a thing. What sort of condition were you in when you wrote them? One on the Darrell Summer Show. Remember the Darrell Summer Show?
Vaguely, yeah.
Well, you said the comedy spots were so terminally feeble that they should have been sent to Lourdes in hope of a miracle. Isn't that just going a little too strong?
What are you going to pull your Catholic bit on me now?
No, I'm not going to pull any. You wrote it. There's one here. This one's on. Oh, wait on. This is on me.
Oh.
It talks about me, and it says, I seem to make a habit of being on other people's show, with a hairdo that could be used to scour saucepans. How unkind of you.
Well, you were featuring a rather strange little number at the time, weren't you?
What are we talking about now?
Well, not Patty.
No.
I don't mean that strange.
Molly Meldrum. Molly Meldrum has a personality and an image, although the laws of libel prevent one from saying an image of what? Frank, I suppose that when you set yourself up to write a column such as that, you have to then expect a compere to go to his files and pull out something on you. And one of your finest moments was in a film in which you played, of all things, a sheep. Do you remember that?
A sheep?
An S-H-E-E-P, a sheep. Would you like to be reminded of it?
I can hardly wait.
Where
are the monitors?
Here we are.
When I was 18 months old, I was classed as a reserve ram. My owners had at last recognized my true worth, and at 2 years of age, the other reserve rams and I left the open paddocks behind us forever. Nothing was too good for me while I was in the stud. No effort was spared in making me as comfortable as possible. I had my own barber, as did the others, though some of the rams, in my opinion, took this business to extremes.
What could it be?
Well, it was from something or other for the Australian Wool Bureau.
I have absolutely no recollection of that at all, but you can always get money out of the government.
What do you think of the present government?
Very little.
What did you think of the previous government?
Less.
Are you happy being domiciled here in Australia?
Oh, yes, I am. I love Australia, even though I can't wait for that sheep thing again. That's thrown me completely. No, I love Australia. I think it's the best country in the world. Otherwise, I wouldn't have come back here after all these sort of little sorties overseas with the sort of epics, the biblical epics. I was a teenage Jesus, you know.
Was that a musical?
Yeah, it actually came out as King of Kings.
Yeah.
But
Frank, coming back to Australia after having made those epics and deciding to live here, I mean, you came back with a lot of experience, and not only, of course, in those biblical films. I think it's sometimes a little unfair for people to remember you only in them because you did lots of theatre in England. How do we compare theatrically in Australia with overseas? Have we caught up, or did we need to catch up?
We certainly needed to catch up, and we have, as indeed we have in film. But this, for once, let's say something nice about the government. They have provided a great many funds for the opening of, well, in England you'll call them provincial theatres, but like the state theatre companies. I mean, we're going to have one opening here when they if they ever finish the building. But I mean, the Sydney Theatre Company and the Adelaide Theatre Company, all these minor state theatres, as opposed to the old J.C. Williamson's days when you had Gladys Moncrief doing Maid of the Mountains, and you never knew which was the maid and which was the mountain. You see, all these companies that had, let's face it, we've paid for, but the government give us the money, have improved Australian theatre so very, very much that we now no longer need to go overseas to prove ourselves.
Frank, I've read almost everything that you've written in TV Week and other magazines. You've never slandered Darren Hinch, and yet Darren is a very much up-front character in Australian show business. Darren Hinch?
I never see him on. Is he on television?
Well, he was on. Well, he's about to be on television with you after this commercial break on The Tonight Show. Darren and Frank meet. And away we go again. On the couch already, Patrick McMahon and Frank Thring, joined now by Darren Hinch. That's the, good evening, Darren.
Evening, Bert.
That's the one great thing about a show such as this. I mean, just for me, as compere, to look across and see such an unusual crew. Patrick, Bragg, and yourself.
The crew's over there, Bert.
I'm talking about the Andrews
These are the
sisters here.
guests.
Have you met Darren before, by the way, Frank?
Yes,
Oh,
we've met.
yes,
It's quite a trifecta, isn't it?
It really is quite a trifecta, but I've got it.